Good morning, students. Last month in Vishakhapatnam, in an unfortunate incident, people around a chemical plant started falling suddenly on the roads, laying unconscious with problems of breathlessness and vomiting. This was due to a poisonous gas leakage from the chemical factory, which affected thousands of people and took lives of many people. This poisonous gas was invisible but obviously very much present in the air. See, nature has given us everything in pure form, but some man made or natural sources may cause alteration or undesirable changes in the physical, chemical, or biological balance of the environment, which leads to health hazards in human beings. This is known as pollution. Pollution is the presence of substances, solid, liquid, or gas, or even heat and noise in greater than the normal proportions. And any substance, whether solid, liquid, or gas, which causes pollution or degrades the environment is known as a pollutant. So we have pollution categorized as air pollution, water pollution, soil pollution, radiation pollution, and noise pollution. We'll see the first two today, that is air and water pollution. So before I start, let me ask you a question, two questions. Number one, which country this year became the first country in the world to make its public transport free before the pandemic? Although during this pandemic everything came to a halt, still give this answer in the comment. Question number two, which country last month, this year 2020, had a major oil spill in its river system, because of which an emergency was declared? So now come to air pollution. We all know how much we need air. For every breath, we depend on air. So air pollution is the presence of substances in the ambient air in sufficient concentrations for a sufficient period of time, which can lead to human discomfort. Its sources may be natural as well as man-made. The natural sources include, first of all, dust storms, in which the dust particles are carried up to heights of 1500 to 1800 meters above the ground due to very high velocity winds, mostly seen in the desert regions. Then volcanic eruptions, they emit a lot of sulfur, smoke, other gases or pyroclastic materials, which are pyroclastic means the rock pieces which come out of volcanoes. Some people are very sensitive to pollen grains and bacteria. Then we have forest fires. Last year we had major forest fires in Australia. These fires emit a lot of greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases. Those were the natural sources. The man-made sources are quite well known. First of all, vehicular pollution. We all know the modern world is on wheels. Locomotives, automobiles, aircrafts, they emit a lot of greenhouse gases like carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, and oxides of nitrogen and sulfur. Industries also emit a lot of gaseous as well as solid pollutants. Gaseous may include oxides of nitrogen and sulfur, whereas solid pollutants may be smoke, dust, ash, soot, etc. Burning garbages. Garbages may include plastics, bottles, cans, etc., which when burnt up give out greenhouse gases like carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide. Also soot, which are carbon particles quite hazardous to human health. Now we'll see what are the particulate matters. Particulate matters are microscopic particles suspended in the air, whether solid, liquid, or gas. Some important particulate matters are, firstly, dust. When rocks are disintegrated or blasted, they form very small particles of rocks called dust of irregular shapes. They may remain suspended in the air for few days or months, but they may settle down after some time. Smoke consists of very fine particles of carbon formed due to combustion of coal or wood. Soot consists of greater particles of carbon which contains tar in them. Tar is a black, thick, sticky substance which when cools down gets solidified. Then aerosols is a combination of smoke, dust and fumes. We have other particulate matters like fumes, smog, haze and mist. Now we'll see the adverse effects of air pollution. When exposed to lower levels of air pollution, it may cause cough, soreness of throats or headaches in human beings. Indian petrol is of not good quality. It contains lead, so its combustion leads to emissions which may cause lung cancers. Cigarette smoking leads to exposure to carbon monoxide, which is very dangerous for health. Then small babies during their menstruation period, if they are exposed to air pollution, they may suffer permanent changes in their organs. They may be deformed. Also, due to pollution, ozone layer in the atmosphere is getting depleted, which can again cause skin cancers or cataracts in human beings. So those were the harmful effects. Now if we talk about remedies of air pollution. First of all, the polluted air should be treated scientifically, so by scientific methods. Industrial regions should be located far away from the residential regions. The chimneys of the factories should be far above the ground so that the smoke goes out far above. It does not affect the lower layers of the atmosphere near the surface. There should be more and more plantation of trees. Roads should be of good quality. Indian petrol should be unleaded. Then alternative sources of energy should be encouraged like solar energy, wind energy, tidal energy, etc. in place of conventional sources of energy like coal and petroleum. They are also known as fossil fuels as they are formed by millions of years ago by the dead remains of plants and animals through dead decaying and compaction. So their use should be restricted. Then there are some other good methods like carpooling, in which people, instead of using their personal vehicles, 5 or 6 people accommodate in a single car for their car journeys to their workplaces. Though this may not be quite advisable in this pandemic, but it is quite helpful as it leads to less traffic on the roads, leading to decongestion and hence lesser emission of greenhouse gases. It is also quite good for women and children regarding safety. Then smoking is completely banned in India in public places, especially in places like educational or government institutions or railway stations, etc. and other places. So that was about air pollution. Now we'll talk about water pollution. What is water pollution? It is again addition of harmful substances in the water which changes the physical, chemical or biological properties of the water, which again leads to health hazards in human beings. Sources of water pollution may be household detergents, then domestic waste or sewage and industrial waste. Effects of water pollution are, first of all we'll see sewage and domestic waste. These, when released into water bodies, they increase the growth of certain bacteria and viruses in the water that may lead to chronic diseases in human beings. Other industrial wastes which when go into water bodies may again contaminate water and lead to various diseases in human beings like damage to lungs, kidneys, brain, etc. Thermal pollution. The hot water that comes out of nuclear reactors and other industries increases the temperature of the water bodies, thereby threatening aquatic life. The animals there, marine animals, can't adapt to the change in temperature. Also, hot water decreases the dissolved oxygen, leading to greater biological oxygen demand. Industrial effluents may also cause eutrophication, which is increase in the nutrient level of water, which leads to increased growth of algae and other plants, which uses up most of the oxygen in the water, leading to greater biological oxygen demand. Then there is radioactive pollution of water, in which radioactive substances are added, which can decrease the immune system of human body and cause other diseases like epilepsy, nausea, etc. So what are the remedies for water pollution? Again, polluted water should be treated first chemically or other scientific methods before releasing them into the water bodies. Hot waters should be cooled down before releasing them into the water bodies. There should be lesser use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides. Drinking water should not be used for purposes other than drinking. Okay. Then there are certain initiatives by the government like Ganga Action Plan for cleaning up of Ganga, and the government has various other plans for other rivers too. Then the enactment of laws. In 1974, it enacted the Prevention and Control of Water Pollution Act, and through its proper enforcement, water pollution can be reduced. So that was all about air and water pollution. Next class we'll see soil, radiation and noise pollution.